Thanks everyone for joining this session. So yesterday we covered the methods, functions and the hands-on lab on method and functions. So today we are going to cover the lambda, map and filter functions. Okay. So what is lambda? Lambda is a short anonymous function. So why we are saying short? Because it is only written in a single line. Okay, that is the first thing. The second thing is that why it's anonymous, because it don't have any names and it is usually called within some other definition to do some kind of small activities. Okay, and when I am saying a function, because you are writing your own custom logic here. Okay, so that's the reason we are saying it a function. So lambda functions can be assigned to a variable also, and that variable name we can use as a function also. Okay, so that is the concept of lambda. Fine. Yeah, once we will do the hands-on lab, then we will get more clear on this. So definition wise, it is not starting with the whenever we are defining a function, what we are doing, we are saying define, then function, then we are starting this, and then we are writing the body of that function, correct? But lambda syntax is not right like this. Okay, so we are not writing this lambda in this manner. Clear? So lambda is a single line function. So map is a function which we want to apply to the each item of a iterable. So iterable, what are the iterables we have? Like we have a list, we have tuples, right? We can set, or we can, this dictionary also an iterable object. So if we want to perform an action on each item of that particular sequence or the iterable, then we are using the map function. So map, within the map function we can also use the lambda functions also, because that I told earlier, because lambda is a single one line functions which we are using mainly inside some other functions to do some operations on the main function. Okay. In the same way, we have the filters is a function which will only work when it is satisfying some conditions. Suppose in this filter I am saying that once x is greater than 5, then it will only give those data and it will do this operation on that set of data. Okay. So if you see the syntax, what we write here, this is suppose the lambda syntax, x colon x plus 10. Suppose I want to add the 10 to each number of this. Okay, or here if I am saying that I want to multiply the same number with this, and this is the list or tuple or the sequence on which I am doing the operation. So this is the syntax for map and filters. Okay, so define the lambda function, then the list and whatever the method you want to use, whether you want to use map, filter. Okay, so this is the syntax for this. Any questions on this? Okay, no, good. So today we are not taking any new topics, so we will do the hands-on lab on this lambda, and then we will take any open questions if we already have. Okay, so I am just writing first a normal function. Okay, I am saying that one function square root. What that function is doing, it is taking one number and it is returning the square root of this, x into x, and then I am calling this function square root with a particular number, or what I am saying here, instead of this I will create another way. Okay, let's first call it in this manner, and then so what it did, it took the square root of this. Now if I have a list, okay, list of id, let's say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 9, 10. Okay, up to 10. If I want to take the square root of each of this item, so what I need to do, I need to, one second, I need to call this, I need to iterate this condition, right, for id in lst.id, and then I can say that call the square root method. And ID. Right? And I can create another empty list and I can new list. And I can add those items to that particular list. Okay. So what method I can use to add a item to a list? Anybody can tell me? Suraj, can you tell me which method I will use to add some item to a list? Append. Right? We are using append.
Okay.
Okay. And then I can say what is the item in the new list. Fine. So I defined a method which is taking one number which is doing the square root of this. Let me comment this for a while. And then I created one list and I created one empty list. Then I am iterating through this particular list and then I am adding this particular ID inside this, and but by calling this method, and then I am appending this. So it is going to append the square root of this, and then I am finally want to get the value of this. So this is the code I need to write to do one small operation. So how many line of code it is? Right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. At least 7 line of code I need to write to do this operation. Okay. Now I am going to take the same example here, and now we will do this example with lambda. Fine. So finally, what this method is doing, it's just taking the square root of this, not anything more than that. Now what I am going to do, okay, I am defining one function here, x lambda, the x equal to x into x, because that was my definition of the method, right? And I am just assigning it to a one variable also again. Okay, I am telling you I am going with different ways. Okay, I am just saying that ki square root, or I am just saying that ki root instead of root, okay, square root as root. Okay, now it is also doing the same thing. I am creating one list, and instead of this for loop, I iterated this for loop, and here I can, instead of this, I can call this also. This is the one way. I did not define these functions with the def keyword. I just created one lambda which is doing a single line of expression, and I assigned this to a variable, and this variable will do that particular job. And I am also doing the same thing again. It will also do the same thing. Fine. So what we change here, whatever this 2 line of code, we changed it with 1 line of code for the short code. Okay. Next. Any question till now? Fine. So here what I did, I call this square root method here, and I need to iterate this every item of this list to do this operation. Now Python have a map method which will do the same thing for us. Okay. I am not going to iterate this item here. Okay, I am simply saying that I will use the map method here, then I will call this square root as root method here. Okay, and then I will say that pass this as x, oh sorry, what is that, yeah, x, and then I am saying this new list, sorry, not list, no list, I am iterating through the list ID. One bracket I closed it, another bracket I closed it. Okay. So now instead of this, I am writing this lambda here. Okay. So I even don't need to write this particular code block here. So now you see here, till now we write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 line of code. Okay, or 7 line of code here. And once we reduce it to some lines, okay, then we write it within the 6 lines. Now how many lines I am writing it? I'm writing it within this particular thing. Okay, even if I want to assign it to this, otherwise this is also an object to me. I did the same thing here. Okay, so now I want to run it. So it did the same job. So map method work on the each item of the list whatever we are providing, and then it will do the operation whatever we want to do within this. Clear? Now we are going to take one example of the filter. What I said about the filter, filter will meet one condition and then according to that condition it will do that job. Suppose if I am saying here x mod 2 equal to 0. Once x mod 2 equal to 0, and then it is filtering me that particular data. Okay, so this is used for the filter purpose if I want to write some condition here on this block and I want to run it. This lambda is not only used in this filters, map and all those things. It is also used to work on the sorting and other methods also. Suppose this is a single list. If I want to take another list of tuple, or I want to take one example here, let me copy paste this data from here because I already worked on this. Yes. Okay. So in this particular example, right, if by default what the sorting method is doing, okay, sorted method is doing, it will sort on the 0th index. Okay, so now I want to say that sort it according to this particular second item of this. I am giving the index as a 1. So now it will sort this according to the age. Now if I want to sort it according to the name, then it will sort according to the name. So we can use this lambda method also in the sorting example also. So wherever we are saying that we need a single line of expression to do operation on any other method, we can use the lambda method. Okay. So in this scenario also I want to filter some data based on some condition where x mod 2 equal to 0, then I want to filter this data, then it will give me this. Okay.
Okay.
And in this example, so I want to sort this data, I did the sort on the basis of this. Okay, so we will take some more example of this also here. Okay, lambda method. So till now whatever we did, we only took the one parameter in the lambda. Okay, it's not like that lambda will only take the one parameter. Lambda will work with the two parameters also. Okay, so to define the two parameters, suppose I am creating one method add here. I am saying that lambda x comma y, and then then it will say x plus y. Okay, so what it is doing, it is taking two parameters and it is returning one method that I have just assigned to this, and I am saying that add, I am passing 2 comma 3, then it is going to do the addition of these two methods. It did the addition. So you can pass multiple parameter also to this by comma separated. Okay, so whatever the operation you want to do after this question mark, so this is the syntax. Lambda is the keyword, then the parameters, then colon, and then whatever the operation you want to do on this. So this is the way we can use this lambda with the multiple parameters also. I will take some another example from here for this lambda. Okay, so the sorting we considered. Okay, so yeah, this is another example which actually I clubbed there. Okay, with that another things. So if I want to check particular number, this is the syntax of ternary operator. Okay, that actually I was doing the wrong at that stage. Okay, so we need to use the condition whatever will in other language what we are doing here. Okay, if it is just, let me cut it once. If I am saying any other language, what is our example? X equal to y mod 2 equal to 0, then we are saying that even else odd, right? So this is the most common syntax of a ternary operator, right? We
Yes.
are question mark here, sorry,
You
not
need
the,
to put the
yeah,
question mark.
right, yeah. So This is the syntax of this, but in Python, after this condition, this thing is coming before this, okay, because I did not explore this much. So now if we will take our example here, so it will take this before and then it will write after the else. So now if I am taking this example with odd or even, so it is saying it's odd, even, or it's odd. Okay, this is the way to use a ternary operator. Clear? Let's take some more examples, whatever we tried here. Okay, this is fine, this is fine, this is just upper, lower, filter starts with, this is fine. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, I think we already did, we took this example. This is another example, right? So yeah, this is another example I would like to show here. We did not consider it now. So what is that example here? In this lambda, we are going to write one condition which is doing some job, correct? Now instead of this, we can call one particular method also which you want to operate on this particular thing, not only this particular part. As we yesterday in the list comprehension also we covered that while we are doing some list comprehensions, or while we are, then at that time also within the for loop also we can call the same another method also, whichever I defined earlier. So now I am going to take one example here. I write one method which is taking a word and which is taking a character, and it is returning me whether this particular word start with this particular character or not. Okay. Yeah. Now, yeah, I kept this intentionally. Okay. Now let me. So if I wrote this code, what will happen? Can anybody tell me what will happen if I will write this code?
It's so the error that names is not defined. What you are passing in the a underscore names is equal to list filter lambda start with check in the last one, the names. It's not defined.
Right? Why it's not defined? I just want to know it from some other guys. So it's defined here, right? I write it here. Can anybody tell me why it's not defined? Yesterday also we discussed the same thing. This is the main trick here, okay, in this Python language. Python language, you need to keep the spacing. The spacing itself is defining your scope. Now this name variable is within this method scope. Okay, this name variable is not in the outer scope. If I will run it, I am not getting any result here. Okay, because it is where this lambda function will iterate. Okay, sorry, it give the error because the method name is not defined. Okay, because name exists here. If I will comment this and I will keep the below line, because now it exists at this scope. This is the scope, how the scope is working in this. It is working based on the things. If I am writing some conditions here, if I am writing this variable within that, then that variable will come as a scope of that particular thing. Now it is in the global scope according to the cell, okay, because it is outside this method. Now it will work. Now it will give me the data, whatever the data I am looking for. Okay, so this is the one example of scope I want to cover here. The second thing is this, within the lambda method, if you want to call any particular thing, we can use that also. Here what we did, whatever the word we are passing, it is taking one word and it is checking with one character, which word are starting with A. Instead of A, if I will say P, it will give me only Python. Clear? We can also define some methods also there and we can use it. Okay. Now what I am going to do, I am going to delete all this cell from this. Okay. Now can anyone tell me, I want to do the multiplication of items, or okay, 2 items or 3 items. I want to do the multiplication. I want to do the multiplication. Suppose I want to add 2 number x plus y and then divide it with z. Okay, I want to take 3 parameters. I want to add the first 2 parameter and I want to divide it with the third parameter. So how I will do it with the lambda?
Like let's say Z, like let's say
First of
we
all,
can
yeah, tell me.
x is
X.
equal to
Mm-hmm.
lambda,
Mm-hmm.
and then bracket open,
Okay.
a b c.
A, B, C. Like this.
No, a comma b comma c.
Okay, A comma, yeah, then A comma B comma C. Okay, sorry. Mm-hmm. Bracket
Uh,
close.
yeah, and semicolon. The
Colon,
semicolon. Yeah,
not semicolon. It's
a
colon.
bracket open, a
Mm-hmm.
multiply by b, a
Okay,
multiply by b.
I am saying B. I want to add it. Okay, I don't want to
No,
multiply
add, no, it's
because
multiply. Yeah, okay.
no, I asked
Okay.
that I am
Then
adding
yeah,
and then I am dividing it.
divide c.
Okay, next.
Yeah, that is it. That is it.
That, so what it will do? How I will run it?
No. You need to go down.
Yes. Okay.
You need to go down on the next
Mm-hmm.
statement.
Mm-hmm.
Write
What I
x
will write? Mm-hmm.
bracket
Mm-hmm.
open, like let's
Mm-hmm.
say 5 comma
Mm-hmm.
2, 5 comma
5 comma
2,
3. I took 5 comma
yeah,
3. Okay.
comma
2.
3, you can say.
Because
Yeah,
I want to add the first two number and then I want
yeah,
to divide it with
that's
some
all.
other number.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So will it work? Anyone
There
can
might be
tell me.
some syntax issue
Yeah.
with the lambda expression.
Yeah, that's the reason I was asking, right? So let me go here back to this screen.
Like I don't need to write that lambda x. Oh, could you write lambda
Bracket
and
bracket is not required like
Yeah,
A and
bracket is
B.
not bracket. This is, you are not defining a method like, so you are not defining a function with brackets. This is the way to do it. It will do the job.
okay,
Mm,
so I might got confused with that
yeah, that's fine.
C sound.
Hmm.
There we need to put the bracket in the lambda function.